Also, just to remind you, to cover the wordings that you're about to read to us.
Yep.
So we hear it clearly, understand clearly. Kia ora.
So what I should do first is, and I'll just go around this way, is just get the names of those who are present. So I know that Wayne is to my left.
Leonie?
Leonie. You return a Leonie, are you?
You can pass the paper around, we'll sign it for you.
It's a lovely idea.
You have to wait for that to be completed before you can start. Alright.
No, no.
Okay.
I just, So firstly I'll read out Leo's last will. So this is the last will and testament of me, Leo Turner, also known as Leo Motoko Te Uku Turner, Tikahoma, New Zealand, retired. I revoke all wills and testamentary dispositions at any time heretofore executed by me. That's clause 1. Clause 2, I appoint my sons Wayne Turner and Clinton Turner and my brother Jim Turner to the executors and trustees of this my will. Whoever shall act or the survivor of them being called my trustees. 3, I give and devise to my trustees any interest I may hold at the time of my death in the dwelling house situated on the land comprised and described in Title 7A bar 247 and all land usually used in connection therewith approximately 1 acre 36.1 purchase subject to any mortgage or mortgages subsisting thereon at my death upon trust to permit my daughter Leonie Matoku Natasha Turner and her children to have the use, occupation and enjoyment thereof during their lifetime and keeping the same in good and habitable state of repair, fear, wear and tear and damage by fire and flood and earthquake and other inevitable accident accepted on the basis that the proceeds of the lease of the farm are to be used to pay all rates, mortgage payments, insurance premiums and other outgoings on the property. Subject to the trust created in paragraph 3A above, I give and devise and bequeath all the land comprised and described in Title 7A bar 247 to my trustees upon trust and to divide same into 9 shares and to transfer those shares as tenants in common and equal shares to the following. 1 share to the children of my late brother Swanee Te Wanahana Turner, 1 share to my brother Robin Dean Douglas Turner, 1 share to my brother Jim Turner, 1 share to my sister Christine Tipaya Kiriopa, 1 share to my brother Horny Turner, 1 share to my son Wayne Turner, 1 share to my son Clinton Turner, 1 share to my said daughter Patricia Tony Cooper, and 1 share to my said daughter Leonie Matuku Natasha Turner. I direct my trustees after payment of my just debts, except any mortgage or mortgage subsisting on the land, and any funeral and testamentary expenses and all duties upon the whole of my dutiable estate, including duties payable on my death in respect of any gifts and settlements which I may have made during my lifetime, to hold the residue, excluding the above land, upon trust for each of my children, Wayne Turner, Clinton Turner, Patricia Tanu Cooper, Leonie Matoku Natasha Turner, as shall survive me, and if more than 1 in equal shares. And then clause 5 says, I direct that should any child or children of mine predecease me or survive me but die before the date of distribution, leaving a child or children living at the date of my death or at the date of distribution as the case may be, then in every such case, such last mentioned child or children shall on attaining the age of 25 years take, and if more than one in equal shares, the share, estate and interest under the provisions of this my will, which his or her parent would have taken had such parent been living at my death, or the date of distribution as the case may be. In number 6, I authorise and empower my said trustees in the administration of the trust of this my will to exercise the following powers and authorities, or any of the same, namely, to sell any, all or any part of my real and personal property, excluding my farm property in Title 7A/247, either by public auction or private contract, or in such manner and subject to such terms and conditions as they think fit, with power to allow the whole or any part of purchase money to remain on the mortgage of property. I direct that my farm property, Title 7A/247, is not to be sold, but is to be transferred to those beneficiaries named in Clause 3B above, and then dealt with by those beneficiaries. If any of the beneficiaries named in Clause 3B above wish to sell their shares of the said land, then I direct that they must sell those shares to the remaining shareholders. It is my desire that the land should always remain in the Turner family. Then the next power is, these are trustees' powers, to let any hereditaments for the time being remain unsold, either from year to year or for any term of years, or otherwise at such rent and subject to such covenants and conditions as they shall think fit, also to accept surrenders of leases and tenancies, and generally manage the same as they think fit. And C, to postpone the sale, calling in and conversion of any real and personal estate or part thereof, so for so long as they think fit, notwithstanding that may be of a wasting, speculative or reversionary nature. And I direct that pending such sale, calling in and conversion of the whole of the net income of property actually producing income shall be applied as from my death as income. And on the other hand, on such sale, calling in and conversion, or on the falling in of any reversionary property, no part of the proceeds of such sale, calling in, conversion or falling in shall be paid or applied as past income. And D, to borrow any money from time to time for any purpose affecting or connected with my estate, or any part or parts thereof, on such terms and conditions, and at such rate or rates of interest, and for such period or periods as my said trustees may deem expedient, and by any means and in any manner whatsoever, including by bank loans, overdraft, current fixed account, either with or without giving security, in particular to pledge, mortgage, charge, or grant or permit liens over my estate or any part or parts thereof. To advance in their sole discretion the whole or any part of the capital and income of the vested or contingent share of any beneficiary of mine under this will for towards the maintenance, education, advancement or benefit of such beneficiary during his or her minority, or during the period prior to vesting, with liberty to pay the same to the guardian or any of the guardians of such beneficiary for the purposes aforesaid, without being liable to see the application thereof. And then there's a long clause that says to invest such proceeds of conversion in my ready monies as from time to time to be available for investment in any modes of investment for the time being authorised by the law of New Zealand for the investment trust funds, and upon contributing mortgages including those lent in the name of solicitor's nominee company, and in debentures or debenture stock, guaranteed preference, ordinary or deferred shares, or guaranteed preference, ordinary or deferred stock, issued or guaranteed by any company incorporated under Royal Charter, or by any special act or under any general act or acts of the New Zealand Legislature, and whether bearing any liability for uncalled capital or not in the purchase of land or property in the Dominion of New Zealand, including leaseholds containing a perpetual right of renewal, and during the purchase of flat units whether held under the cross-lease system or under the Unit Titles Act 1972, with the power for the trustees to vary or transpose such investments for or into others of a like nature, so that the power to invest in land shall extend to authorise the purchase of dwelling house or flat unit as aforesaid as a home for occupation by any person entitled to a life interest in possession of the settled property, and the powers of management and leasing of real and leasehold property contained in this my will shall apply to all investments in land made by my trustees pursuant to the provisions of this clause. And then to retain as authorised investments in my estate all or any investments, bonds, debentures, shares or securities held by me at the date of my death, or in which I may then be interested or concerned, notwithstanding the hazardous or unauthorised nature thereof, and I declare that my trustee should not be responsible for any loss or losses occasioned by such retention. And I further empower my trustees to accept or take up any bonus shares or other rights or benefits issued or given by any company in which my estate may be interested or concerned, and to determine whether such bonus shares or other rights or benefits are capital or income, notwithstanding the decision of the company in such a matter. To make such outlay as my trustees may from time to time deem necessary, to make such outlay as my trustees may from time to time deem necessary for repairs, alterations and improvements to any freehold or leasehold property forming part of my estate, and to charge any such repairs, alterations and improvements either to the capital or the income of my estate or any part thereof. And then number 7 says, I've not made any provision for my daughter Patricia Tanu Cooper or her children to live in the dwelling house situated on the land referred to in clause 3A herein, because my wife and I previously made provision for Patricia by giving her the proceeds of the sale of the house that I previously owned at 7 Buckland Road to account. And then 8, I've not made provision for my natural daughter Margaret T. Aho Turner in this my will, because she was adopted out as a baby and has been properly provided for by her adoptive family and has received land and other benefits from the estate of her adoptive family. And then the last clause, any trustee being a solicitor, accountant or other person engaged in any professional business may be employed to act and shall be entitled to charge and be paid all professional or other usual charges for any business or act done by him or his firm in connection with the trust hereof, including acts which the trustees could have done personally. And witness whereof I've subscribed my name this 12th day of November 2010. So that's Leo's will, and we had to get probate, which we did, in favour of the 3 trustees, who, as mentioned, are Wayne, Clinton and Jim.
So can everyone get a copy of that? Copy of the will?
The ones who are beneficiaries can, yes. And I can give that to them. The other thing I'm going to need is, because I'm going to need to transfer the shares of the land as, what do we say, 9 shares. So I'm going to need addresses and contact details for those who are mentioned here.
So what's going to happen now, Brian? Do we have to pay taxes now?
No.
No?
Well, the land, as you know, was leased to
Waishing.
Waishing. So that money's been coming into the estate. So when the land is transferred to all of you,
Yeah.
then the land will, the monies will come into. You'll have to open an account, I would think. You better talk to Craig about that. You'll have to open an account in the name of the partnership of all of you. So the rent goes in there and then gets divvied up amongst the 9 of you. I see the will mentions Robin, but I don't, looking at this list, I don't see Robin here.
He's not here, Uncle Dougie.
D. Turner.
Okay.
And he said, turned around and he said, "Tell the cunt to fuck off." Who the hell's Dean Turner? That's Dougie. No, he's not here.
So that,
He's in the hui. He's in the hui.
right. So we've got, you don't know that. We've got,
On the area beside you on the right.
The only one missing is Uncle Dougie. Oh, no, Chris, yeah. Christine,
where does she live?
Australia.
I'm recording it for you.
That's good. Well, if you're recording it, what we need are her contact details.
Yeah. Leo, get it for you, get it from down.
Just write it on the area. Let's write it down. What's your full addresses down? Look at it.
If you want to, you don't have to.
How many children did Swanee have?
Swanee's wife's here.
I was rather, the same take over his.
I'm going to do what the will says. And it says, one share to the children of my late brother Swanee. Was Swanee your husband?
Yeah.
He's the only one in the country.
Said the same.
So I'll be the oldest.
Yeah.
He's representing, but but he's the representative. Like,
Okay, have you got your details down there?
Lincoln's there.
Hmm?
He's there.
His contact details are there?
Yeah.
Mum, give your phone number.
So you said that it's got to be what's in the will.
Mm.
How do we change that if we so desire to change that on behalf of Uncle Swan?
You could do we could do a deed of family arrangement, but the other children would have to agree to it.
So that's what's the process? Just so that you look after it on behalf of your family.
This is alright, this is getting shared to his
His
to
family too.
his kids too.
That's
This is what we have to do to stay connected.
yeah,
We've got to record the situation.
that's good.
So say it again, what do we have to do if we want to change it?
We have to do a deed of family arrangement, it's called.
Yeah.
Whereby, so I'll still need the details of all 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have to do a deed and send it to them wherever they are. And tell them they're entitled to legal advice and so on and so forth. And then it will be just a bit like setting up a mini trust really, where you'll hold it in trust for all 5 of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That might be the process for the rest too, you know, because our parents are still alive. But
Yeah.
when that time happens, that's probably something we will need to talk about.
is. As far as I'm aware, well, firstly, it's leased to Waishing, and we need to be looking shortly at. I'm not sure of the amount of the rental at the moment. We need to be looking at that because land goes up in value and rent goes up in value as well. So
Yeah, we know that.
yeah.
But the vegetables
So
gone.
we're here.
Vegetables have gone up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right. You go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And, you
I got a
can't see
question
them.
on behalf of Encore. Who negotiated the next lease did it just automatically roll over?
Sam did the leaving.
Oh, okay. Good point.
I didn't know what to do.
Sam,
And that's due for
it's your
renewal.
fault. Nah.
When is it due,
that's
Brian?
Well, they weren't making any money before.
Yeah, yeah,
2010?
They
Oh,
were
no,
someone
2000.
dealing it for like.
Oh, at least you did it.
2000.
At least you did it.
2020.
Yeah.
That's the renewal date for the lease.
2 years away. Is that right? 2 years away, not
That's
too
fine.
bad. As long as you've done
It was just to pay the
service.
tax and all the rates and all that, so they paid for that.
Well, that's what we're going to realise, that those things are paying off the rates and the rates.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'd be paying it off.
Yeah.
So I get the time and to pay everything. All good.
There's every likelihood it probably could pay that and more.
Yeah, even more, I think. All good.
Yeah, it commenced 1st of April 2010, so it will expire on the 31st of March 2020. So it's a little over a year away.
Any other part-time shareholders?
So when we have our next meeting, right?
Everyone will take paperwork done. Yeah, people will take paperwork done. After that.
You're just down with the farm.
The lease is-
No, the
So say for instance, we could get all the shareholders in one space, how soon can we meet with you with that paperwork?
I'll get the deed of arrangement done first.
Ah, yeah.
So I'll do that after we come back in the new year.
Mm.
Late January I'll get that done once I've got all the details. And all the brothers and sisters in Australia or somewhere, are they?
No, just one sister's in Australia.
The rest are here?
Yeah, he's moved home now. This one here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the dress. Where's the farm?
She might come home now that you've given her
I
some.
already read it. Yeah.
So how have you read this before? To the shareholders?
Only to the trustees.
To the trustees?
Yep.
Which was the 3?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is the first time the 9 have
Down
heard
the
it.
bottom, auntie.
Okay. I understand.
But I gave copies to the trustees.
Yeah, I
So,
just put it.
I just assumed that
You took what the Aussie, eh?
I did. I did.
Everyone?
Oh,
Oh,
I had to go over and see Jim and Ozzy.
You managed to get to see him?
Huh?
You managed to get to see him?
I did? Yes. Yes, I did.
Who paid for that trip? Was it the trust?
Yeah. And I saw Leo too, I think, over there, didn't I?
Okay.
yeah,
we
had to
won't
see
need
Leo.
And
We had to take that all the way to Darling Harbour.
To where?
Darling Harbour in the city.
Novotel.
You didn't want to stay in Rockdale? Right, so we definitely can't have the lawyer flying at our expense, Barney?
oh, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, if you pay for
yeah, I
it.
bet you are. I bet you
We're happy
are.
for you to do it too.
It's something that had to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It had to be
Yeah.
done.
It was either us, one of us flying over there.
No, there's another.
Why not send the man who knows what he's doing?
Hey, well, that's
But make him stay in Rockdale next time.
yeah. Yeah, no.
So that's that sort of thing. Once I've got the addresses, I'll drop a note to all of you and tell me what I need.
Can they do it in front of the justice of the peace or something?
Yeah.
Save them coming all the way from Hamilton down here to come here to sign it back. With a helicopter.
What have you got today, like your driver's license today?
Or you're an Aussie,
Yeah,
or in front of day.
Everybody should have their driver's license or something
you
here.
can go to a JP.
No, we could do it here if you, it's right for the ones that stay close here.
I can do the driver's licenses now.
That's the one. Start collecting it now. They're all here.
Here's
You've
mine.
only got Auntie Chris and Uncle Dougie who aren't here. So you
Get your licenses out, Panda.
Your license, yes.
You have a license, Jim?
Boy, it wasn't.
She's not here, very.
There's bloody Sam Turner right there, right there. Trying to borrow Uncle Jim's
There's a
license.
good one.
Hey,
Say cheese.
driver's license.
Oh, Jay, this is a good one.
Go kart.
Okay, Tunas, behave yourself.
Sorry. We're still recording you, Panda. So any other key questions that you need to answered?
So we're going to get the duplicate, the paperwork to fill out for the, you were talking about the one for Lincoln, how he's got to get.
Yeah.
for his
So what
family,
is it? Would you?
the deed of,
Winifred.
can we have paperwork to send off? Or
He'll
do you
have to
need
draw that up.
I'll
I'll have to
draw
draft
it
it up, Mum.
Okay.
He'll have to draft that.
Turner's got a license around here,
Mine's,
except some
mine's
people.
in my car.
Well, at the end, if you just at the end, if you can get it. Yep.
So all your 9 shareholders just pass your
I
paperwork there.
think we also have to have a meeting with the accountant too, to see which direction we're gonna go.
You do.
Early in the next year.
Is he
Yeah.
here in Hookie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go and meet him now.
Oh, no, too late to just go fucking.
Yeah, you're gonna make an appointment.
But I mean, we have to do that, eh?
Yeah.
So,
Well, while you're all here, you should give them a ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be hard to get everybody together again.
Take advantage of the opportunity, Panda.
You got his number?
So are these copies for them now to take?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
So it's for the
Yeah.
the
9 trusts.
beneficiaries, so
That's your
whoever.
copy.
Your copy, Uncle.
Family members.
I'll go to the car and get mine.
You've got a copy.
Oh, no, I'll go to the car and get my license.
I'll go get it.
You need another 5.
No, I don't know where it is. I don't know what's going on.
Lincoln's got one out
is
there.
your card?
Somewhere. Just
He's
like
gonna get some more copies.
5 copies.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling?
Just make.
Still gonna have karakia, you guys?
Yeah. Well, he's gonna go, Laura's gonna do something.
Well, Jim, we've heard it, Jim. Come on.
Yeah.
Good time.
I'm gonna give it to me. You ready? You gonna be ready? You want me to try?
Have you got a license? Let's ask that
Get
question.
my license, yeah. I need some gym license.
What's the matter? You gotta wait for your license to come back. Quick.
Come back with the policeman.
Go away with the policeman.
I'm sorry, Panda, that it's so dark, but they're here. They are here.
Take you out. Wait for the
I'm gonna
license.
get a free ride on the police car.
Bloody
No,
turn.
just
We
say,
should do this paper.
just not that he didn't, as soon as he comes back without a license, I'll call it sack.
Take a photograph of it.
I want to do the trustees, but 9.
Can't grab your phone.
One.
Oh, I'm gonna get a police car here.
No.
And I'll keep it in our record.
So I'll send this to the thread. There's a Maki and Pop Turner thread on Facebook, private one.
Oh, you.
Get the boys to link to that so we can load that on there.
Yes, sweet.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to get it.
Let the boys.
I didn't have a computer or internet.
We'll get Leonie to try and connect them all.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're going to share this stuff. anyway. I was
Oh,
going
wait.
to. Yep, I've got it. I'm just going to pause.